Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you to everybody who likes a video because that keeps videos coming on up in the feeds. And I want to read on a few things. So the FBI has tried to stay independent of the executive, right? And it's upset Trump. And he wants, oh, interesting how this just flew out upside down. This guy, a lot of times, the King of Swords, has represented the FBI and FBI investigations many times. So that's interesting. But Chris Wray is one of the people that Trump has wanted to fire. And apparently he's been wanting to fire a few. Gina Haspel, Mark Esper. He's been wanting to fire a few. Of course, a person could say that any day of the year and be correct, right? I mean, yeah. Trump likes to fire people. The Apprentice was not just, that just wasn't him acting. He enjoys firing people. But anyway, his days are numbered for his ability to do that, though. Okay, so let's see about Chris Wray. What do his cards look like? What's going on with Chris Wray? What does it look like for him in the future? Let's see. For Chris Wray, current position, hope. He has hope that Trump's going to lose and this nightmare will finally be over. Ace of Cups for the outward characteristic. That's interesting. So, I mean, he's getting happier. His countenance is lightening. In other words, people are noticing about him that he's feeling good. Okay, he's liking the polls. Oh, High Priestess. High Priestess reversed for internal. Well, now, the High Priestess, it would make sense to me that the director of the FBI would get the High Priestess. Lots of mysteries, lots of deep, there's knowledge there. And the High Priestess does not speak it. She does not speak. So, she communicates, she telepathically communicates. But this is a reversal. So, you know what I think? I think there's some, I think one of the things that's bothered him the most about this president is trying to keep things secret, trying to keep those mysteries safe, trying to keep the top secret information safe. That has really bothered Chris Wray a lot. So like when Trump tweeted about the new military, the new nuclear options, what have you, whatever those are. That was a problem. These kinds of things are a serious problem. So he is wanting, and also I feel like he's like sitting on something, like he wants to keep it to himself. And maybe that's the excitement that's rising. Okay, so we have the Eight of Cups for the goal. The Eight of Cups, but reversed. So maybe that's just to hang in there. He doesn't want to have to go. He doesn't want to have to go. Okay. Motivation, Two of Cups. Okay, but he is a Republican, isn't he? And I know the FBI is supposed to be nonpartisan. But, I think there's that he's working. He's working with officials. He's working with governmental officials and hoping to ride this out. And he's had to communicate, I think, with all kinds of politicians. And, well, this makes sense to me. He's, of course, had to communicate with Republican senators, trying to gain their protection. Because if there are any politicians in Washington who've been able to protect him from Trump or protect the FBI from Trump, it would be those Senate Republicans right now, just by virtue of the position they hold and by virtue of being at the same party as the president. I see. So he has an agreement. Okay, so he has some sort of agreement that will allow him to not leave, that will allow him to stay. That's okay. So, and there have been compromises, I feel like. There have been compromises. Like he's had to keep this kind of quiet, he's had to keep that kind of quiet. There have been compromises. Such as politics in Washington, I think. Okay, what's at stake is the Six of Coins. There's a quid pro quo he'd love to announce. There's something he would love to bring more information about. There's something that's being kept under wraps. Maybe that's part of that deal. And maybe it's just allowing certain parts of the investigations, the Mueller investigations, the Ukraine, the quid pro quo Ukraine investigation, allowing it to just sit until the next president comes in. Okay. So, but then that's at stake, meaning, okay, it might never get investigated. It might, well, it's all been investigated, right? But does it remain super top secret and not released? So there is some risk of that. Okay. His flaw or need, we have the two lovers in the Lover's card. Okay, and that in political readings has meant he's in bed with somebody. So that means that, yeah, I mean, it's these partnerships that are indeed the problem. And it's just under Trump's administration that's gotten so much worse, because just to survive that administration, there are too many compromises that need to be made. The source of that is the hangman, right? I just want to hang in there. I just want to hang in there till we're out of here. And then we have, halting investigations, holding them up, not proceeding on them. Maybe not referring somebody for criminal charges yet. Maybe sealed indictments. Well, we know that Trump Jr., Bannon, and I believe Jared Kushner, there were supposed to be referrals made for criminal indictments for them, and it was held up for 3 years. So that is the result of his desire to keep from leaving. Yep. His goal of keeping from leaving is, he's had to make some compromises. So, and in doing that, I think he said to himself, well, obviously, and he would have a point. Obviously, moving forward on these things just gets you fired. It doesn't get it done. And he would have a point about that. So hopefully all of this is kept track of and will be pursued later, but I have a funny feeling not all of it will. All right. So there we go. What about future of FBI? What do they do after the election? Hope. They have hope. They have hope to return to standard operating procedures. Yeah. Yep. They will be happy. Yep. And Seven of Swords reverse suggests to me that they do have a hidden agenda, and that is to go back to standard operating procedures. They already have it planned, many plans. We have Seven Swords, many plans for how to undo some of the damage, but also they don't want these schemes. They don't want those kinds of things to continue, the kind of schemes they've uncovered out of the president's office. Okay, well, there we go. So Chris Wray, and I do think he will hang in there. As long as Trump's not in there, he will hang in there. Okay. However, will Trump fire some of these people? I mean, what's going to happen in that last month? So I believe Joe Biden will be the legitimate winner. I think Trump will try to say that that's not true, that he is the legitimate winner. There will be maybe some challenges, some counts, some this, some that. But I don't think that'll go on so very long. That'll be allowed to go on so very long. So are people going to be, let's just ask. I feel like, you guys, I have trouble as I'm thinking of that last month in office. I have trouble because I just see this huge mess, this huge melee. You know what I mean? I have trouble knowing what questions to ask about it. So, because I feel like any question I ask about it will just be getting at one part of that month. So, oh well, okay. So will people be fired in that last month by Trump? Which it would really truly be stupid, but that doesn't bar it from happening. Right? Well, we get this again. We get the Hope card, the Star card. We get the Ace of Cups. So hopefulness and joy. And 6 of Coins. Oh, he tries to make deals with them. Okay. So what he's doing is thinking ahead then in that last month. And do I get in trouble with the law? Do I not? I mean, what's going on? What kind of deals can I make? What kind of non-disclosure agreements can I get people to sign? What kinds of, yes, can I try to set them up for a good position later if they would agree to do this for me or not talk about that for me? Or, okay, because he's going to be realizing he'll have no power to keep people from honoring subpoenas. So he's going to be going around seeing if he can keep people from honoring subpoenas. Can they still claim executive privilege over what happened during the presidency? Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is going to be, that'll be something. That will be something. Okay, he's going to be sweating. All right. Well, let's see. Let's look at, okay, so there's some other things wanted to look at. We have murder hornets. So this is various things from the headlines in the last week. Murder hornets. Okay. So they're trying to eliminate nests. How long is that going to help? I don't know. So what should we think about these murder hornets, Spirit? They're huge. They have these huge stingers and they hurt really bad. But it's not like one sting will kill you. Apparently, you're advised to go to the hospital if you're stung 10 times. That would be horrible. I think you would go to the hospital if you were stung a few times. But anyway, murder hornets. Okay. Got to separate out fear of terrible hornets from hearing truth. Okay. So for the murder hornets, what's going on with them? 7 of Swords. Okay. So they're trying to get rid of this nest and that nest and the other nest. They have a hidden agenda. They're around. Okay. We have the Ace of Cups. Why do we keep getting these cards? This is a whole different reading. I shuffled and I shuffled. And the Hope card, the Star card. I want to ask about murder hornets. Spirit wants to do something else. Okay. We'll ask about murder hornets, but I have to stop and say, what are these cards about, Spirit? We have the Hope card. We have the sort of peak emotional experience, joy overflowing. My cup runneth over, blessings card. We have the 7 of Swords. You know what I think this is, you guys? I think Spirit is saying, guess what? We have a hidden agenda. Guess what? We have a hidden agenda. Please watch it unfold. Yes. That's truly what I'm hearing. Is that, oh goodness, you watch the news and you watch it a lot and you think, oh, what's going to happen? And it's easy to get fearful and it's easy to start thinking, these things are the end of the world, right? But every domino that falls will have a reason. It's like a mosaic in a larger picture. I've been doing these readings under this administration, during this administration, and keep getting that Spirit has an agenda here. Truth telling. There are a lot of spirits on the other side, kind of unified in working toward this. Bringing greater truth and honesty, integrity in government. So, and in everywhere, the powerful people of the world, essentially. Big business as well, the powerful people of the world. There's an agenda here that many souls are taking part in. So I think Spirit is saying, okay, all of these schemes, right? All of the schemes the undoing of them all is going to serve a purpose, a larger purpose. And we should be hopeful. And we will like it. You know, after a while, you start feeling like, oh, what terrible thing am I going to hear next from the news? You know, a discouraging thing. And they're saying, look for joyful news. Look for news that is encouraging, news that is a blessing. Look for that to be coming. So, okay. So Spirit very definitely wants me to tell you that. Before we move on to something scary like murder hornets, I almost feel like Spirit is saying, oh, you humans, you know, indulge every fear. When your day-to-day life, you know, is mostly about, you know, thriving, certainly surviving, but, you know, indulge every fear. Okay, so I feel like Spirit is saying that. So I need to pass that on. Oh, they try to bring us good news. They try to bring us a more hopeful view. Okay, but so Spirit, what do you have to tell us about the murder hornets? Okay. All right. We have the 7, we have all reversals. Okay, so we have, I'm going to put them out right because they're still there, even though they're reversals. We have the 7 of Cups. We have the 3 of Wands. We have the 6 of Cups. Okay, so nostalgia. In other words, do you really think it's going to be devastating? Have you ever had scary and frightening headlines in the news before about exotic species coming in and taking over? And have they ever been absolutely devastating? No. No, they have not. They've changed things sometimes. But no, they have not been absolutely devastating. Okay, 3 of Wands. There's going to be a long time people are just watching and waiting this species of hornet. And what can we expect of them and what can we do? Okay, 7 of Cups. Most of it's hype. Most of the worry is hype. Okay, is we're worrying about the worst things possible, and we shouldn't. I feel like they may become part of, they may become part of the landscape, but not, I don't see them thriving like you would, like, I don't see them thriving. And there's some reasons for that. There's some reasons in which, because the habitat they're in right now is not ideal for them. But I do see them becoming part of the ecosystem. For some reason, I'm hearing they don't bother humans like you think they do. Okay. We're going to be learning more about this species. All right. Well, that's enough. That's enough to know. We just know that, you know, not to buy into scary headlines too much about them. All right. Now, I wanted to look at Pence's staff. So we've had some positive tests on Pence's staff for COVID. And what's going on there? And what about Pence? Okay. So we have the 7 of Swords, and I have seen this and I have seen this. They are going to try to keep them secret. We're only hearing about 1/3 of the cases. Oh, I just heard we're only hearing about 1/3 of the cases that are really there, that are associated with Pence's administration, with the Trump administration in the White House. Okay, they're keeping secrets. 10 of Wands reverse. It's not only overburdening, they can't handle it. It's too much. It's people are getting run down. It is hard for them to do their work. That 10 of Wands a lot of times is overburdening, but you know what? You're still strong. You're still able to do it, but it's just, but it's reverse, suggesting to me that enough people are sick and there's enough trouble with it, and keeping everything secret too for some people that are out with it, that it's falling apart. Their ability to manage this is indeed falling apart. And then we have the 10 of Coins reversed, and that can be, no matter how established you think you are, wealthy you are, or how established your family is, this COVID does not care. It's shaking up the stability over there. All right. Yeah, so they really do have a problem. They have a serious problem with it, more serious than they're letting on in the news. Yeah, that's why we're not hearing a lot about it. And they're instructing everybody not to talk to media, not to share about it, not to say a peep about it. Heck, there are things they're not telling the president in case because you know what he does? He'll deny and then 2 weeks later he'll say, oh yeah, I actually, had it real bad, I was at Walter Reed and, I was, he'll slip up sometimes and share information that he didn't mean to share. So, okay, so it's not good. It's not good. What about Pence? What's he doing? Well, okay, Ace of Cups. So he's putting on I'm fine, I'm good. But the Tower is reversed. It's like, I'm not going to let this be a Tower. It's like the Devil reversed. So definitely bedeviled, but denying it. There again, I feel like if he gets it, we may not know. Even though he's busy and even though he's appearing, we may not know. We may not learn of it. He may be given all of those treatments, those sort of experimental treatments, and taken very good care of, and he just goes out. Because, see, Pence keeps secrets better than Trump does. And Pence has his people keeping secrets more reliably than Trump does. So, Pence. He's not maintaining balance. We have the 2 of coins, but we have it reversed. He's not managing. He's not being the nibble juggler. So I think there are going to be balls he drops, things he can't do, and things his whole team cannot do. So it's going to become apparent that COVID is still a problem, even though we haven't heard a lot about it regarding his staff for the last 2 days. Oh, we're going to hear. Okay. But, there's going to be denial too and trying to hide how much there is there. But you can't, people pay attention. The reporters are noticing if any of his staffers seem to be out sick or unreachable or what's going on here. Okay. All right. Let's see now. Is there anything else I kind of wanted to look at? Well, you know what? Jane asks a good question. She asks, and Jane is a patron of mine. And I'll take questions from viewers or patrons. I don't get to all of them, but if they feel relevant and it feels like I can get to it, I do. If it feels relevant to what I'm, reading on in that particular reading. She asks, is it possible that Hope Hicks, Jared Kushner, and Devin Nunes could cooperate with justice to get info on Trump in order to avoid charges themselves or as part of a plea deal? So she's looking ahead. She's looking ahead when Trump is out of office, and are any of these people going to turn on him? Are they going to turn on it? Have they already, perhaps? Well, under Barr, I think FBI is not exactly complete under control of Barr because they think he's a joke. And so there are things happening, I think, in the FBI that Barr doesn't know about. Things have been investigated. Information they've had to follow up on, I feel like information reported that they had a legal responsibility to investigate. They have. But I don't see active investigations like, okay, we're going to call Hope Hicks, we're going to call all these people in regarding the crimes that Trump has committed as president, other than tax fraud and all of that stuff that's always going on. We had Eric have to sit for deposition already regarding Trump.org, so that's significant. But these other crimes, like regarding Ukraine and regarding emoluments and regarding bribery is the word that came to me very strong. Like, he could possibly get charged with bribery after all this is over and done. Well, what about Hope Hicks? Would she cooperate after he's out of office? Well, we have regrets. We sure have regrets. Regret she was ever involved. We have the Hermit. We have the Tower reversed. She would try to head off a tower. She would try to head it off. I feel like I don't think it would be in her interest to turn on him for some reason. So I don't know that she would. Okay, what about Jared? What about Jared? Tower upright. A tower's coming for Jared regardless. He cannot avert it, is what I'm seeing here. We have the Chariot pulling forward. So he and one other in trouble for something, and investigation pulled forward quickly. And we have that Hermit again, though. Isolation. Isolation. He's not going to talk about it. And a lot of this is going to be occurring behind closed doors. There will be secret depositions. There will be secret interviews. He's going to try to keep his own out of trouble. His own behind out of trouble. Let's see. Would he turn on Trump? And there again, though, I feel like I'm getting this message like it wouldn't be in his best interest. Like his fortunes will go where Trump's goes. I think he's too close to Trump. I don't know that he'd be given a deal. And you guys, I have to say, I keep feeling like there will be restraint used in charges brought against Trump after, and I don't know if that's because somehow he manages a pardon of himself. I think it's more likely because it's part of a deal he makes to leave peacefully. And I think also there's a hesitance, a reticence to charge him for crimes he committed as president in the office of the president, because they want to avoid the precedent of a former president being charged after they leave office. I mean, Trump has many crimes. He deserves to be charged for those. I do think they're going to try to charge him more for crimes that were occurring before he came into office, like tax evasion. Yeah, I do. I think they may avoid charging him with, God, the bribery is the only one that keeps ringing in my ear, though. He might get something for that. But for some reason, I feel like for Kushner, I don't know that he would be given the opportunity to testify to help himself, because he's been, hand in glove with Trump and all of this. So he's just as big a fish, He's actually, they'd be satisfied going after him alone, because there are certain things I don't know that they want to charge Trump with. So, okay, there's just a lot of politics to that. And there's going to be a lot of behind the scenes kind of negotiating to figure out what consequences should be brought, can be brought, and what would not be wise to bring. So it's interesting. But Kushner, I think, does get in some trouble. Yeah, there's the Justice card. Yep. And the Wheel of Fortune, like it's meant to be. And we got the 7 of Cups reversed. In other words, he's not going to be able to lie. They are going to get access to some confidential information that he's been able to protect until now. So, yeah, he's going to get in some trouble. Yes, he is. Devin Nunes. What about Devin Nunes? What's going on with that guy? What will be going on with him? Okay. He has really been a Trump lackey. But he's sitting pretty, and we have the Knight of Swords, and we have he rides it out. Well, I feel like he's got some allies. He's got some allies within the Republican Party. So much of what he did and others on the same committee did is seen by many in the Republican Party as they took one for the team. They came out and voiced these conspiracy theories and fought in these hearings and, tried to obfuscate and tried to do all these things to win. Because, we got to win. It's not about what's right or just or what we're supposed to be doing or what the American people have entrusted us to do. Oh, no, it's not about any of that. It's about winning. And so there are allies of his that see him as having taken one for the team, just as they see Jim Jordan. Not that Jim Jordan, I think, has more trouble coming, though, than Devin Nunes. I don't know. He doesn't have good energy over him, I feel like, for his future. But I think Nunes rides it out. I think he does. I mean, his reputation has taken a hit. I think he might have to go private sector at some point here. But I don't know that he sees that as a loss either. A Knight of Swords, so he has a reputation for, I will do anything to win. Give me my marching orders. I will be your knight. I don't need to even know the full plan. I just will go and fight like the devil. And who cares? And pay a price. So there are some within that circle who view Devin Nunes as quite loyal and a great fighter, a great soldier for them. And so, yeah, this is what it's come to, you guys. Okay, well, I think I know why Spirit interrupted me in the beginning of this reading to say, talk about being hopeful, talk about good things that are coming, talk about amazing things happening in the spirit realm. Okay, there's a lot, I guess, we'll have to learn about in the coming years. And I think we will, though. I think we will. All right. I thank you all so very, very much. Thank you for fighting the good fight, for being involved, for being civically minded, and all of those who listen from other countries. Thank you so much for caring. Thank you so much for your support. And we all need to fight for democracy together. And we need to recognize that. And I think so many of our international viewers they know that better than anyone. Okay. Thank you all so much. Take care. Bye-bye.